onde salvo.
What? So talking to Patricia Valentim McLennan on the 21st of December here at beautiful Kalama Bay. So you're telling me, so you're showing me where Lulu and Chia Lulu and Chia Gung lived on Amaro Rangel.
Yeah, because you asked me about my cousin Nana, or Ana Maria.
Yeah. And right, who lives that one?
Just a minute. It started because you were asking me about my cousin, Ana Maria.
Yeah.
Marins, na época.
Nickname Nana.
Yes. Now we're always known as Nana. She's still alive.
She was
and
the daughter
she's
of...
older than me, but I don't know how much older than me she would be now. I'm 61 now, so...
She was the daughter of...
She was the daughter of Lulu's, Maria de Lourdes. Maria de Lourdes da Conceição? No, Justo, or what was her name?
Maria de Lourdes, yeah, the married name was da Conceição.
Yeah, so that was her married name. So she was the eldest daughter. She's the eldest daughter and still alive. I'm not sure if any of
She's
the
not the eldest daughter. She,
Nana was...
Nica.
Nana was the eldest daughter.
Oh, Nana was the eldest. Okay, I thought you were talking
Lulu.
about...
Just listen, guys. Anyway, so you asked me a few particulars about it, and I mentioned that Nana, I don't remember her husband, so I think she may have married around the time that we met in Brazil, us two, in 89, or maybe she got married afterwards. But I remember that before I left Brazil, she wasn't living with her mom Gun anymore. Gun is Agripina, my other auntie. She was living next to Dita, and she was living with IaiIai, because I think right at the beginning when I was younger, IaiIai used to share the same house with Dita. That was her house when Dita married, and I think...
And this is in Travessa...
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know the name, but I think it's Travessa São José, I think. Because prior to today, when we were researching, you were researching, there's two addresses on Travessa São José.
That's right.
Number 14 and number 16.
That's
and
good.
I do remember that Dita lived in this little, very small house, very simple, plain regimenta house in Favela Jacarezinho. IaiIai and Nana lived right next to her in the same little block. There was apparently another house. I don't remember much about this house because I don't remember going in there. So I don't know if it was always there and I just as a child never noticed, or if it was built, afterwards. But I remember around the time that we met that Nana was living there. She wasn't living with Good anymore. Maybe she was married already. Maybe she had her little kids there as well with IaiIai. And there was some kind of disagreement about who owned the house, or I don't know if it was Dita's house after she died. Anyway, so I'm trying to draw you a map of what I remember of Amaro Rangel and the two houses. There were three houses. Well, two houses, and I can't call the other ones really house because they were just shacks. They were right on the, in the same block, but now bear in mind that the blocks were very, very small, so everything was very small. And so I'm trying to draw a map, and I came to, that's what I remember. Amaro Rangel was always a very busy road, like we lived there for a little bit when we came back to Rio, when we left Brasilia in 75 and went back to Rio when my mother was sick. So we lived in Amaro Rangel. Prior to that, we just visited
every night. On the record, it's Amaral
Yeah,
Rangel,
it's
number
either,
55.
yeah, I don't know if it's Amaral or Amaro. I remember Amaro Rangel, not Amaral Rangel.
Okay.
But anyway, so when we were living there for, that's the other thing. I can't remember exactly how long, but it would have been more than a year because we moved there back in January 76.
Mm-hmm.
And when my mom was sick.
And so you're living with?
Well, I was probably sleeping with Dita. Remember, we were a family of 5 kids when a baby, so we were spread between the 2 houses, I would say. See, I don't remember those little particulars, but I know we were there because I know we moved in. My mom got sick, really sick, in Brasilia when she was pregnant with Alexandre. We didn't know what was affecting her because my father just was never open with us because we were kids. That was the mentality then. So Alexandre was born in October of 75. My mom never really came back home from the hospital.
And you were living in Brazil then? Brasilia?
In Brazil, yeah. The story is kind of getting a bit mixed up because I'm going back a bit. But anyway, we can go back to that story, the living in Brazil. What I wanted to say is I know we lived there for about a year because we left in January 76, I remember that, because we needed family support. And then we went and lived in Jacaré. So that was the only time that, every day. And when we went back to Rio, I was 13. Yes, 13 years old. So I went to school there. So therefore, I had to catch the bus and get off. I was commuting to Jacarezinho. So I remember getting off, I think it's Avenida Democráticos or something, and then walking all the way up. So that would be every day, Amaro Rangel. So it's a long, back those days, favela de Jacarezinho wasn't what it is today, wasn't as dangerous or dangerous at all. It's just, it's a place for, financially challenged people in Brazil.
Well, I remember when we met, you actually took me to Jacarezinho.
Yeah, and what did you think of it?
It was fine. It was just a shanty town.
It's just like it feels like an ancient colony place.
Yeah,
a beehive. Just lots of people.
Feel any danger
or anything like that. So
that must have been in 88, 89, something like that. 90.
So what I remember of Amaro Rangel, always busy. It was a long walk back to where to my auntie's lived because it was a long street, and it's sort of enclosed because that's what favelas are. They are enclosed. Like usually you have 1 or 2 entrances and exits, and and lots and lots and lots of alleyways, like probably hundreds or thousands of alleyways.
Yeah.
And can be some little parts can be dirty and smelly. Some others are well looked after, but in the most people who lived there because they were hard workers and strugglers. Everybody always had pride on their homes if you had a little home there and your things. And these were my aunties. So I used to walk all the way up, fair way up, coming close to where they lived. I remember, because it's a closed community, a lot of people, and the shopkeepers around you. And I remember particular things like a mercearia. Don't remember the names, but I remember many mercearias going there. I remember the barber, Levi. I remember that. I remember when he did my mom was desperate to cut my hair that was long. We had come back from the beach, so the hair was really, all tangled, and I think she I don't know, she took a dislike for it, and it was a Sunday or something like that. That's what I don't know if it's quite right.
So this
But
must have been before Alexandra was born then, if you're talking about your mother.
yeah, there would have been visiting there because we visited a lot, like on weekends. That's before we lived there for for an extended time when she was sick, and we were waiting for a house, I don't know, Air Force house to be available for us to move in. But anyway, I remember that's why I never forgot his name, the barber. He was, of course,
because he did a bad job on
he was, preto, dark. He was a very nice guy, Levi, but he was a barber. And I remember it must have been Sunday because that's what I have in my mind. So she, for some reason, just took me there. She was desperate to cut my hair. And she took me there, and he was being a barber and always had long hair. He, really messed my hair up.
He gave you a boy's haircut.
But that's the thing. He gave me a horrible haircut. And I remember being being around. I can't remember that's what it's mixing up. I remember that I don't remember what age I was, but I remember being very cranky at my mom for that and saying, I want to forgive you for doing this. That's really awful. So I must have been early teenage years, maybe 13. But that's the thing, because at 13, we left Brasilia, went to Rio. My mother was already very sick. When we went back to Rio, she never really lived with us at home. She was always in the hospital. She was in the hospital from January until she passed, January 1976, until she passed away in December 1976. And I remember only seeing her once or twice. Once she came.
Hang on, give me those dates again. When Alexandra was born?
Alexandra was born in 75.
75.
October 75.
October, and then
so,
she
but
passed away
that's
in
the
December
thing. Well, the haircut accident, I remember not happening.
Must have been way before
sometime. I don't know. But I couldn't have held that grudge because I remember when my mom passed away, that was one of my bargaining things, like when you go through the 7 stages of grief. And that's Mrs. Kluber or something like that, stages, that's what it's called. Anyway, I remember that one of my bargaining things, if you make my mom better, I will forgive her. And it was something like that about the haircut. So I'm kind of confused. Oh yeah, I had a lot of bargaining.
You said that your mother did come and visit once or twice from the hospital. Where were you living then?
In Ilha, in Avenida 7.
So you'd already moved.
I remember the once in Avenida 7. So we had already moved from Jacarezinho, and that would be, I don't know when, but probably in the first half of 1976, for some reason that's my guess. But I know that we went a lot, but she was only allowed for, maybe a couple of days or something like that because she had dialysis. So, but I know that we probably still spent a lot of time in Jacarezinho because we didn't have any adults in the house in the beginning until Zilda came around.
Who was the main aunt that helped you during that time?
They were all, I don't remember one in particular. We lived more at Lulu's because she had food. She was always, she had, that was a business. Yeah, she had a little pensão, meaning a little, she cooked, little restaurant thing at the front. She cooked meals, and for many, she was the business woman of the sisters. She cooked the
marmitas.
She made marmitas, but that's not all she had. Like I said, in her front room, she had tables, front room and outside, and Brazil being Brazil, you have lunch, and everybody knew because it's a huge, busy community. Everybody knows everybody. So she always had clients. That was a very good business. Her kitchen wasn't big, but she had the biggest stove with stoves, and she always had these huge pots cooking, and she was always cooking. And so we lived there because there was food all the time. And Gun lived at the back, really literally was a shack now at the back of almost wall to wall.
Yeah.
And it was very rudimentary.
Rudimentary.
Yeah, rudimentary. Very.
Gung was not married?
She was a widow then.
Oh, widow,
Yeah,
okay.
she was a widow then. I never met her husband that I remember. But anyway, I was drawing the houses. You asking me because during our research, it came up that there were two addresses where, when we checked their death certificates, the addresses were two numbers at Travessa São José. So Tia Dita lived at Travessa São José. I remember her little place, always neat and tidy, like to a T. Even the pigsty, as soon as you walked in, there was a pigsty. It never smelled, and it's always clean. You know, now there were many times when there was a pig there. They used to grow a pig for Christmas or whatever, or just so Lulu, and they used to kill it themselves and cook the whole thing. And that was probably that's probably the least pleasant memories that I have is when they were cooking all the whole everything from the pig in the house. It stunk. The blood, making the black puddings.
I guess they made use of absolutely everything from the pig.
But the smell of the black pudding and everything else. Anyway, so even the pigsty was nice and clean. And so as soon as you walked in, you almost had a concrete wall, because you walked in through the gate, and it's just a small little space. Everything was inside a very small space, but it was cozy. So you walked in, and then there's almost the concrete wall from the house, and a little window or something like that. And the pigsty was right to your left, small one as well.
Yeah.
And then so you walked in this, and then alleyway, and all a huge, probably another shack's wall ahead of you. So it was another, as far as I can remember, another big concrete wall.
Yeah.
So you walked in, left, and then right, and then pigsty here, shower. Her door was here, and this was a concrete wall here. So it was all always very cozy like that. I do not remember another house here, but there must have been right next to her, because I know that Nana moved with her family, and I think she's already had little kids to here. She was living here with IaiIai.
Okay.
But I do not remember another door or another house next to it, not in my memory. But
so just for me, so there's Tia Dita, IaiIai, and Nana.
IaiIai always lived with Tia Dita.
Yeah.
Always.
Okay.
Always.
Right.
But then I think, I'm not sure if IaiIai and Tia Dita.
Yeah.
No, there was maybe another place here that I don't know if it was. Yeah. I can't, but I don't know if they built something at the top, on the side, but there was not much space.
Yeah.
But I know that she lived here. IaiIai always lived with Tia Dita. I'm not sure when Nana moved in with her family. Hang on, I'm not sure if when Nana lived with her family, IaiIai was still with Tia Dita, or she was with Nana. Depends on the address there on the thing. So let's suppose this is number 14. IaiIai, Tia Dita. Okay, so that was it. So Tia Dita's house.
What? No, stop.
Tia Dita's house.
Okay, so one cheer that you haven't mentioned yet is Nica, the oldest one.
Yeah.
So what's your memories of Nica?
Barely any. Okay. All I remember, Nica was the oldest, and all I remember of her was that she used to mind, her minding us on a few occasions. I don't know if she lived with us for a little while, or if she was just every now and then when they needed, she would come and mind us.
Where did she mind you?
Would have been Rua 27 or Rua 54.
Okay.
Both. And I
your...
only remember that because when I look at the photos, we have 2 or 3 photos of her, is her with us when we were very little. And when I say very little, I would have been 3, 4 years old.
Okay,
so I don't remember much.
Who was it? Vinci Sech?
Yeah, Rua 27 is the earliest.
Is that Ilha you're talking about?
Yeah. So Vila Militar.
Yeah.
Okay. My earliest memories. We were born in Ilha do Governador, no Galeão. Galeão é onde Galeão is where the Air Force compound is. The main Air Force compound.
Galeão is where the main airport is.
Yeah, so my father, Paulo Valentim, he was a sergeant back then in the Air Force, and he...
Give a rough year that was?
Well, I was born in 1963, so I was born... I was literally born and living in... I wasn't born in Ilha, but my father and my mother were already living there.
I was born in... Rua 27.
Well, that was the earliest address that I know there. So I don't know if there was any before that, but that's my guess. There's 2 streets, I think. I'm not sure if these were the only 2 streets. So my father was in Air Force, and therefore we lived in almost always in Brazil. Lived in Air Force accommodations. So I was born in Tijuca, no Hospital Central da Aeronáutica, but Mama and Papa were already living, in a house. So I have very, 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 very few memories of Rua 27. Always playing, always out, and Rua 54, we've got a little bit more memories because I was a little bit older there, but I think I would have been maybe around 6, 7 years old there. And Avenida Rua 27, I was younger. But the only memories that I really have of Tia Nica was because of the photos that when I looked at it, and that's now, I remember her with affection. She was, a quiet lady, and all I can remember and picture about her is she smoked a pipe.
Smoked a pipe.
Yes, she smoked a pipe. She was always putting the smelly, with the black thing.
A long pipe, a short pipe, or?
Oh, a normal pipe, like not too long, not too short, and. She was very small.
Like a chain smoker type thing. Always had a pipe in her mouth.
A pipe in the mouth, I think. Yeah. And but I think she also smoked as well. Can't remember if it was chain smoking or not. But I remember that she used to be around us. Probably just mine. We were all little. I remember her with affection because I don't know. She was nice. She had a nice face. But apart from that, I don't know what happened of her. What became of her after we left 54. I don't remember many occasions with her around there. And I honestly do not remember her, not one single time, living in Jacarezinho with the other sisters. But she must have. It's just it doesn't mean that she didn't. It's just because we're talking about my very early years, So my memories, I think we spent more time just playing in the street and eating lollies than, looking around us and absorbing things. But all I can remember about life in Jacarezinho, that was always fun for us. We were always happy to go there because the aunties were nice. They never really got crossed, not that I can remember, got crossed with us. They make beautiful, like Lulu had beautiful homemade cooks, simple and homemade cook. And Tia Dita always made the most beautiful rosquinhas or donuts. And always went around. As soon as she knew we were coming, she would go around to the butchers, and they did not have money. But she would go to the butchers around and get a couple of steaks of very, like minute steaks or something, and make us from scratch the most beautiful beef con batatas fritas. That's Tia Dita. So the fondest memory. So she would make us beef con batata fritas, steak and chips from scratch. Amazing. Plus the donuts. Lulu, not Lulu. Yeah, Lulu would always have the beautiful homemade, food, cakes and stuff. Oh gosh, that was great. And IaiIai used to work at Lojas Americanas. That's like a shop similar to a smaller Kmart or something like that. She used to work at Lojas Americanas for many, many, many years. In the city, in Rua Uruguaiana. And she used to work in the little takeaway food. Like it's a place, Lojas Americanas, they still do to this day. It's a place where you can, there's inside, they used to sell refrescos or just, little, what do you call, drinks, like orange drinks or something very cheap, and a hot dog.
That's
so if you're really hungry, and that's why she's making the hot dogs.
Did you go and visit?
I think once or twice I did, And we didn't really have favorites because they were all really nice. Tia Gun, she lived behind, right in IaiIai had a small house. Lulu, she had a small house with a very small backyard. But Gun, or Agripina, she had a very small, and I'm talking a very small, it was just like a concrete box right there in that little
just
backyard.
Like one room type thing.
And was probably the most unkept of the homes because she had 6 or 7 kids living there. Now they were, and it was very small inside and was probably the most unkept place. And it was really a but we never saw it that way. That's the funny thing. We used to go in there. We even slept in there on the floor with everybody.
You can't remember Tia Gun's husband?
No, I said no. She was a widow. I don't remember anyone's apart from Lulu's husband, Sao Paulo. He was always there, always helping Lulu. Just he helped with, setting up the tables, serving. She would dish out the meals. He would take it to the clients on the table. He was the only man that associated with them. The only husband in there for all the memories that I have is the only one. I know Tia Dita was married, but I never met or don't know. Gun, I never. They were the only 3 ones that were married. Now IaiIai never married.
Tia Dita had a
one
son. Yeah. And he was living there
No,
as well?
no, he was not there. I never remember seeing. I never met him ever.
Oh, you never met him?
I mean, that I remember.
I
never met him. So he was, she would have had a son, and when I came around, he might have gone out. He actually apparently became something, like made something of himself. I think he's a high up person in the military.
What was his name?
No idea.
Valdi?
No, don't know. Pauline would know.
I've got it written down.
Yeah, I don't know his name, but apparently he became something someone big in the Air Force, and she was always proud of him. She never really talked. I mean, she probably did. The thing is, I don't have many memories because we went there, we played.
Yeah.
All the memories that I have was probably what stayed in my head.
You played with...
Gun smoked the pipe as well, very heavily smoked. She was skinny, tall, very nice, and she made beautiful paçoca. That when we went there, we always asked to make it. Paçoca is peanut paste or peanut butter, but we made it from scratch. She would buy the amendoim still with the skin. We would sit there and take, oh gosh, there was a lot. It was very, we didn't know any better. We didn't know that back then you couldn't buy it in jars. But we had fun. So in her place, inside the little messy place of hers, we'd sit there. She would have a pilão. It was it's like a big mortar and pestle made of wood. And she would buy the peanut still in the hard case. We would shell it, and she would put it in there still with the red skin in it. Oh no, she would toast it. That's right, and then she would put it in a very rudimentary oven, toast it, then would put it inside the pillow, and then would just hammering it down with the big pestle, and the smell was divine of that roasted peanut coming up, and then we just eat it by the spoon, just like spoon. These are the things that I remember. A small house, mostly. I mean, I would have remembered more if I had spoken about it more often. Or
did you play with Chiagung's kids?
Oh, she had Nana was the only girl. There were boys. We played. They were always in and out.
They were older than you, right? A lot older.
Not a lot old. They must have been, not a lot, but they were old. But they must have been, I think Isaac was the youngest. And I can't remember if he would have been born around my age or before, I can't. But he was the youngest. And I remember we were of an age to, do things together. But they were like, free-range kids living in a favela. I'm not sure if they all went to school. I know that Pelé, and what was Pelé's name? Now I can't remember. Pelé was his nickname. He had a disability, like he was mentally, he had he had a child's age.
Yeah.
But he still functioned and he could go out and stuff. But he could I don't know what it was, if he had an accident or he was born like that. But he was not the brightest person. But he still was savvy enough.
Yeah.
So they all knew how to navigate the alleyways of Jacarezinho. They knew a lot of people. They got in trouble for, probably doing wrong things because they were just free range. And, when we played, I can't remember playing games or anything because there were not places to play games. I mean, you could play on the street with thousands of people walking past and all of that. But I wish now we had a video or something of what life was like then. But yeah, there were, so Nana was the only one, and Nana was old enough to help Lulu, so Nana and Sao Paulo helped Lulu a lot, and some of the kids as well in the cooking, the food, in the restaurant. And when I say restaurant, it wasn't a restaurant, it was her house, just the front. Yeah. She turned each that, and then there was another little
set up
room.
For lunch.
That's right, I remember. You walked in, the main living room was just the tables, the outside, and the main living room was just tables, and then next little room to the area was with a little curtain, and that was, her then where she, there was a couch and maybe a piece of furniture.
They're all single-story buildings?
All single-story buildings, all very humble places, all out of brick and cement, and, installations were always dodgy, and the floor were concrete, and, So we're talking about, very, very young. And I think she owned that house as well. So they were very, very proud of it. She was the business, like Pauline said, she was the businesswoman of the lot. The one that apparently brought everybody from Bananal to Rio.
Lulu, you're talking about?
Yeah, that's what Pauline said.
Yeah.
I would not know. I don't remember these things.
Mm-hmm.
She's the one that, I don't know. That's what he says. Could have been their father. Now that they decide we're moving or something. Because she's not the oldest. But obviously she was the most,
Because the father did go to Jacarezinho.
Yeah. But so back again, so this will be number 14. Back to the map that I'm drawing of where they all lived in here and who lived where. So, and possibly this would be number 16 as we have Travessa São José, as we have documented in the birth, in death certificates.
Mm-hmm.
Travessa São José. And we can probably have a look. I don't remember the name of this one here next to Lulu's. Lulu's Sao Paulo. That was Gun. So there was actually, this is all her backyard here. So this was inside her backyard. So obviously you have this.
Mm-hmm. What's this you drawn here?
There's shops everywhere around, because it's a main road where just commerce shops. And remember the barbers was around here. It wasn't long walk, and more shops here. There are shops everywhere.
Okay.
And there was, I think there was another alleyway around here. Yeah, we could go out.
Right, so you're saying Lulu had this pension, Gung worked...
Didn't do anything, no.
Oh, didn't do anything?
No, okay. She was always, she didn't have a source. I think the only source of income would have been pension that would have been very, 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 very next to nothing then. That's why they were so poor. But Lulu would have helped them all.
Yeah.
And Gun even sometimes helped in the house, but I don't remember her helping in the house, in the little restaurant much. Nana was always helping here. The kids, everybody did a little bit here and there.
Mm-hmm.
That's...
All right, and who worked in Lojas Americanas? Which one?
IaiIai.
And Dita?
No, she never worked.
She never worked.
No. Not that I remember. She was always living here.
Yeah.
The only one that I remember that went out for work, didn't work here helping, was IaiIai.
Right. Okay.
And Nica, I don't associate her with the Jacarezinho. She may have met her, but I don't have memories of that. And like we saw, she died in 76, and I was surprised. Now when you found it a couple of days ago, her death certificate.
Yeah.
I was surprised. 76.
It did look like she was living, or not living, probably being taken care of somewhere
else. Yeah.
And it wasn't your father who registered
it? Yeah,
it
was Papa who registered it.
It was.
So she was still around.
And your father was living in Jacarezinho.
Yeah. Because in 76 was when we came to Rio. My mother died in 76 as well. And I don't remember seeing IaiIai at all at that age. She was, in the certificate, she was 60-something when she died. And that, like I said, that surprised me, because I thought, if you had asked me, that she died when we were still little, because I don't have any memories, and I didn't know that she lived for that long.
You said IaiIai.
No, IaiIai, sorry, Chanica, no IaiIai, Chanica. Yeah, so that was a surprise, but I could not even tell you, and so she probably didn't have anything at all, any possessions, and was probably living with relatives somewhere else, maybe sick, I don't know, but it's a pity because I would have liked to have enjoyed them more, and because they are probably the best part of my childhood. That's mine. I can't talk for the others, but they were really
you always
dear to
spoke
me.
fondly of them.
They were always dear to me. Very poor, very simple, very humble. But there was nothing that they wouldn't do for us when we went there.